Chapter 51. Thus saith the Lord, Behold, I will raise up against Babylon, and against them that dwell in Lebkamai, a destroying wind, and I will send unto Babylon strangers that shall fan her, and they shall empty her land. For in the day of trouble they shall be against her round about. Let the archer bend his bow against her, and let him lift himself up against her in his coat of mail, and spare you not her young men, destroy you utterly all her host. And they shall fall down slain in the land of the Chaldeans, and thrust through in her streets. For Israel is not widowed, nor Judah, of his God, of the Lord of hosts. For their land is full of guilt against the Holy One of Israel. Flee out of the midst of Babylon, and save every man his life. Be not cut off in her iniquity. For it is the time of the Lord's vengeance. He will render unto her a recompense. Babylon hath been a golden cup in the Lord's hand, that hath made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunk of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Well for her, take balm for her, if so be she may be healed. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her, and let us go every one into his own country. For her judgment reacheth unto heaven, and is lifted up even to the skies. The Lord hath brought forth our victory. Come, and let us declare in Zion the work of the Lord our God. Make bright the arrows, fill the quivers. The Lord hath roused the spirit of the kings of the Medes, because his device is against Babylon, to destroy it. For it is the vengeance of the Lord, the vengeance of his temple. Set up a standard against the walls of Babylon. Make the watch strong. Set the watchmen. Prepare the ambushes. For the Lord hath both devised and done that which he spoke concerning the inhabitants of Babylon. O you that dwellest upon many waters, abundant in treasures, your end is come, the measure of your covetousness. The Lord of hosts hath sworn by himself, Surely I will fill you with men, as with a canker worm, and they shall lift up a shout against you. He that hath made the earth by his power, that hath established the world by his wisdom, and hath stretched out the heavens by his discernment. At the sound of his giving a multitude of waters in the heavens. He causeth the vapors to ascend from the ends of the earth. He maketh lightnings at the time of the rain, and bringeth forth wind out of his treasuries. Every man is proved to be brutish for the knowledge. Every goldsmith is put to shame by the graven image, that his molten image is falsehood, and there is no breath in them. They are vanity, a work of delusion. In the time of their visitation they shall perish. The portion of Jacob is not like these, for he is the former of all things, and Israel is the tribe of his inheritance. The Lord of hosts is his name. You are my maul and weapons of war, and with you will I shatter the nations, and with you will I destroy kingdoms, and with you will I shatter the horse and his rider, and with you will I shatter the chariot and him that rideth therein. And with you will I shatter man and woman, and with you will I shatter the old man and the youth, and with you will I shatter the young man and the maid. And with you will I shatter the shepherds and his flock, and with you will I shatter the husbandman and his yoke of oxen, and with you will I shatter governors and deputies. And I will render unto Babylon, to all the inhabitants of Chaldea, all their evil that they have done in Zion, in your sight, saith the Lord. Behold, I am against you, O destroying mountain, saith the Lord, which destroyeth all the earth. And I will stretch out my hand upon you, and roll you down from the rocks, and will make you a burnt mountain. And they shall not take of you a stone for a corner, nor a stone for foundations, but you shall be desolate forever, saith the Lord. Set you up a standard in the land, blow the horn among the nations, prepare the nations against her, call together against her the kingdoms of Ararat, Mini, and Ashkenaz, appoint a marshal against her, cause the horses to come up as the roe cankerworm, prepare against her the nations, the kings of the Medes, the governors thereof, and all the deputies thereof, and all the lands of his dominion. And the land quaketh and is in pain. For the purpose of the Lord hath performed against Babylon, to make the land of Babylon a desolation without inhabitant. The mighty men of Babylon have forborne to fight. They remain in their strongholds. Their might hath failed. They are become as a woman. Her dwelling places are set on fire, her bars are broken down. One post runneth to meet another, and one messenger to meet another, to tell the king of Babylon that his city is taken on every quarter. And the fords are seized, and the castles they are burned with fire, and the men of war are affrighted. For thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, the daughter of Babylon is like a threshing floor at the time when it is trodden. Yet a little while, and the time of harvest shall come for her. Nebuchadrezzar the king of Babylon hath devoured me. He hath crushed me. He hath set me down as an empty vessel. He hath swallowed me up like a dragon. He hath filled his maw with my delicacies. He hath washed me clean. The violence done to me and to my flesh upon Babylon, shall the inhabitants of Zion say, and my blood be upon the inhabitants of Chaldea, shall Jerusalem say. Therefore thus saith the Lord, Behold, I will plead your cause, and take vengeance for you, and I will dry up her sea, and make her fountains dry. And Babylon shall become heaps, a dwelling place for jackals, an astonishment, and a hissing without inhabitant. They shall roar together like young lions. They shall growl as lions' whelps. With their poison I will prepare their feast, and I will make them drunken, that they may be convulsed, and sleep a perpetual sleep, and not wake, saith the Lord. I will bring them down like lambs to the slaughter, like rams with he-goats. How is Sheshach taken, and the praise of the whole earth seized? How is Babylon become an astonishment among the nations? The sea is come up upon Babylon. She is covered with the multitude of the waves thereof. Her cities are become a desolation, a dry land, and a desert, a land wherein no man dwelleth, neither doth any son of man pass thereby. And I will punish Bel in Babylon, and I will bring forth out of his mouth that which he hath swallowed up, and the nations shall not flow any more unto him. Yes, the wall of Babylon shall fall. My people, go you out of the midst of her, and save yourselves every man from the fierce anger of the Lord. And let not your heart faint, neither fear you, for the rumor that shall be heard in the land. For a rumor shall come 1 year, and after that another year a rumor, and violence in the land, ruler against ruler. Therefore, behold, the days come, that I will do judgment upon the graven images of Babylon, and her whole land shall be ashamed, and all her slain shall fall in the midst of her. Then the heaven and the earth, and all that is therein, shall sing for joy over Babylon, for the spoilers shall come unto her from the north, saith the Lord. As Babylon hath caused the slain of Israel to fall, so at Babylon shall fall the slain of all the land. You that have escaped the sword, go you, stand not still. Remember the Lord from afar, and let Jerusalem come into your mind. We are ashamed because we have heard reproach. Confusion has covered our faces, for strangers are come into the sanctuaries of the Lord's house. Wherefore, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that I will do judgment upon her graven images, and through all her land the wounded shall groan. Though Babylon should mount up to heaven, and though she should fortify the height of her strength, yet from me shall spoilers come unto her, saith the Lord. Hark, a cry from Babylon, a great destruction from the land of the Chaldeans. For the Lord spoileth Babylon, and destroy out of her the great voice, and their waves roar like many waters. The noise of their voice is uttered. For the spoiler is come upon her, even upon Babylon, and her mighty men are taken. Their bows are shattered, for the Lord is a God of recompenses. He will surely requite. I will make drunk her princes and her wise men, her governors and her deputies and her mighty men, and they shall sleep a perpetual sleep, and not wake, saith the King, whose name is the Lord of hosts. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the broad walls of Babylon shall be utterly overthrown, and her high gates shall be burned with fire, and the people shall labor for vanity, and the nations for the fire, and they shall be weary. The word which Jeremiah the prophet commanded Seraiah, the son of Neriah, and son of Maaseiah, when he went with Zedekiah, the king of Judah, to Babylon in the 4th year of his reign. Now Sariah was quartermaster, and Jeremiah wrote in one book all the evil that should come upon Babylon, even all the words that are written concerning Babylon. Jeremiah said, Sariah, when you comest to Babylon, then see that you read all these words, and say, O Lord, you have spoken concerning this place, to cut it off, that none shall dwell therein, neither man nor beast, but it shall be desolate forever. And it shall be, when you have made an end of reading this book, that you shall bind a stone to it, and cast it into the midst of Euphrates. And you shall say, Thus shall Babylon sink, and shall not rise again, because of the evil that I will bring upon her, and they shall be weary. Thus far are the words of Jeremiah. All right, let's go back up to verse 1. And yesterday we was getting that word that comes against Babylon. Babylon represents that confusion, that great confusion, even that great confusion of the end time, where the teachings of men have polluted the sanctuaries of God, because that's what we're talking about. That's what we've been talking about for many, many days. Concerning the land of the Chaldeans represent those ones who God brought up from a lowly position to be some of the wisest even in the land. They was considered that, this word that was coming to them, because God has used them, and we're going to find out. See, they have been the servant of God. God used Babylon as a servant, and that prophet that protects the crown. God's been using them as servants. They've been working for God this whole time. But God's going to cut off from there man and beast. See, and God, yesterday, we found that God was, by the time we got to the end of the book, there was a battle going on. Even this battle, God coming in there and sending those even coming with him, they was fighting. God in the midst of the battle, commanding what to do while you were going through, saying, devour them, bring the sword against them, shoot the arrows, commanding each brigade of the army to how to fight and how to battle, and we will find that God has set his armies in array. God has prepared the battle. God has appointed the day, see, and the battle is in the land, and great destruction is to come, because we'll find that God is making an end of all things, even an end of a period of time. See, an end of a period of rule. God is going to pour out understanding. God's going to pour out knowledge, even as he did in the beginning. See, because from the beginning, it's always been about one thing. The observance of a covenant that was made, an observance of an agreement that was made by humanity to keep the law of God, to observe the law of God, and it's for your own good, see. But God, through time and through ages, has raised up these kings, even these ones who stand mightily over people, these rulers. But there was periods of time, and we have it documented, see, that when Israel was brought forth out of Egypt, and God was their king, and God brought them great blessings, but they forsook the law of God, see, and they have been punished, and God wanted to make another example, see, one more example, one more great example, see, before he destroys humanity for their perversions. Verse 1, we're going to continue just from yesterday. Thus saith the Lord, Behold, I will raise up against Babylon and against them that dwell in Leb-kamai, and a destroying wind. And a destroying wind, this destroying wind is going to be, it's a spirit. It's like a spirit even, and that commands a period of time against those ones of Babylon, even Leb-kamai. Unless Leb-kamai is a place that means this spirit of man that rises up, that place where the spirit of man rises up, because they think they're going to stand against God in battle. We're going to find out. See, God wants to make an example. He's going to call it confusion. 2, and I will send unto Babylon strangers that shall fan her, and they shall empty her land. For in the day of trouble they shall be against her round about. And these strangers, these ones that come into Babylon, these are going to be the ones that start the fires and fan the fire. See, make the fire grow, because what's happening is the same thing that happens throughout time. See, idolatry's coming in, and they're using it. They're using this idolatry and all the understandings of the people around them to benefit them, to pay taxes, and they're benefiting from this. 3. Let the archer bend his bow against her, and let him lift himself up against her in his coat of mail, and spare you not her young men, destroy you utterly all her host. These archers, these are the ones who know how to handle the law. They know how to bend the bow with its strength. They know how to bring the law back in all of its strength and let the arrows of understanding go forth. Bring them up against confusion, and let them lift himself up against her in his coat of mail. And we're going to see this coat of mail is your zeal, with your zeal. And that knowing that God protects you with the law, and spare you not her young men, destroy you utterly all her host. And we're going to see this battle in the end. This battle in the end is against understandings. Even these understandings of men have taught to become this confusion of all the earth, because all the earth is in confusion. They're ruling by law and by word, not the word of God, not the words of understanding that God gave from the beginning for your own good, to protect you even from this, which you have not hearkened. 4, and they shall fall down slain in the land of the Chaldeans, and thrust through in her streets. And that's what's going to happen. They'll fall down slain in that land of Chaldeans, that land of these ones that think they have all the knowledge, all the understanding. And they shall be thrust through in her streets, and those streets are these places where they go to do their business, along their ways. 5, for Israel is not widowed, nor Judah of his God, of the Lord of hosts, for their land is full of guilt against the Holy One of Israel. Israel's not a widow. God's not been killed. No one's destroyed God Almighty, the Lord of hosts, the God of Judah. This is the God of Israel. He's the Lord of hosts. He's the God of all your not gods. The land is full of guilt against the Holy One. That land of Babylon, that land of confusion is full of guilt. We'll find they were polluted by images. 6, flee out of the midst of Babylon, and save every man his life. Be not cut off in her iniquity, for it is the time of the Lord's vengeance. He will render unto her a recompense, a just reward. Get out of there. Get out of the midst of that confusion. They don't teach the law. There's no understanding in it. Save every man his life. God gave it to you for a prey. Now, you got the law. Go hide there in it. It's your refuge until you grow in strength. Be not cut off in her perversions, her iniquity. It's the time of God's vengeance. See, this ignorance that man's been under for thousands and thousands of years. It's time for understanding that God is bringing a victory and understanding through his law that he sought in the first. Through the law. 7. Babylon hath been a golden cup in the Lord's hand, that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunk of her wine. Therefore the nations are mad. The nations are drunk. Babylon, this confusion, it's been a golden cup in God's hand. See, confusion is a golden cup. God's using it to deceive all the earth. God's going to show himself magnificent when he wakes everybody up and they realize they have been drunk. 8. Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Well for her. Take balm for her pain. If so be she may be healed. If it was possible, but it's been used like a cup to make you drunk. Take you balm for Babylon, this great confusion. Maybe it can be healed. Go say, hey, turn, return to understanding. 9. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her, and let us go every one into his own country. For her judgment reacheth into heaven, and is lifted up even to the skies. See, God's going to punish greatly this confusion of man that they've been using against the world forever to rule over. See, that if it was possible, she would have been healed. Forsake her, leave her there. This is a judgment. Every man returning to his own country. Back from where you came, and back from wherever you came, you're going to find, no matter who you are and where you go, there the foundation is going to be the law of God. Go look and find it for yourself. 10. The Lord hath brought forth our victory. Come and let us declare in Zion the work of the Lord our God. See, God has done this. God has brought forth the victory. Declare it in Zion. Declare it in that parched place, that place where God punishes. See, that confusion, even God's going to make an end of it again. It's that parched place he's been parching over and over. We had Eli that made the example, and this punishment's accepted, see, in God, this marker is set so that we can have understanding. It's the work of the Lord our God. Declare it. Declare it. 11. Make bright the arrows, fill the quivers. The Lord hath roused the spirit of the kings of the Medes, because his device is against Babylon, to destroy it. For it is the vengeance of the Lord, the vengeance of his temple. Make bright the arrows, make bright your truths, make bright your understandings, and fill your quivers. Prepare for the battle. The Lord has roused the spirit of the kings of the Medes. These Medes, and we'll find the Medes are the one that's going to come in and destroy Babylon. Those ones of the middle ground, those ones that rise up, see? They're going to rise up in the middle and destroy. It happens every time, just like they're in the midst of, because God's constantly preparing. God's constantly preparing against confusion. 12. Set up a standard against the walls of Babylon. Make the watch strong. Set the watchmen. Prepare the ambushes. For the Lord hath both devised and done that which is spoke concerning the inhabitants of Babylon. Set up a standard. Make it known. It's like a flag. Hold it up and wave it and say, this is against the walls of Babylon, against confusion. Make the watch strong. Watch for it. Set your eyes, set watchmen. These ones that are going to watch and prepare for Babylon, confusion coming in. Prepare ambushes against it. For the Lord hath both devised and done that which he spoke concerning confusion. See, God's going to bring it down. God's going to destroy it. 13. O you that dwellest upon many waters, abundant in treasures, your end is come, the measure of your covetousness. See, finally these fat seats are going to reach their full. God's day comes. You can't hide. You dwell upon many waters. This is many waters. This is all the people of the earth. Oh, you're abundant in your treasures because you set yourself a high seat. See, your end is come. The end. And the measure of your covetousness, this is your wickedness, this is your evilness, things that you've done. Those are the things you desired from the beginning. 14. The Lord of hosts hath sworn by himself. Surely I will fill you with men, as with the cankerworm, and they shall lift up a shout against you. See, God has devised from the beginning words that are going to come from within, destroy you. God's filling you with this. God's filling you with these men, just like cankerworms. Cankerworms is a little bitty baby locust. See, and just like them little bitty baby locusts, by the multitudes of them, see, they've come to destroy. 15. He that hath made the earth by his power, that hath established the world by his wisdom, that hath stretched out the heavens by his discernment. That's who we're talking about, God. For he made the earth and all things therein, all flesh, and that from the earth which was made. And by his power, by his strength, that established the world by his wisdom. By his wisdom, by his knowledge, by his understandings, even that which he shared with you, and hath stretched out the heavens by his discernment, whatever seemed according right unto him, having knowledge to give you understanding, and you have no understanding. 16. At the sound of his giving a multitude of waters in the heavens, he causeth the vapors to ascend from the ends of the earth. He maketh lightnings at the time of the rain, and bringeth forth the wind out of his treasuries. At the sound of his word, see, at the sound of God's word, a giving, a multitude of waters are in the heavens. These waters, we're going to find out, these are the abundance of peoples. He is giving understanding in the heavens, having understanding. He causes the vapors to ascend from the ends of the earth. God does this. God causes this rain to come down, these understandings to fall into the ears. He makes lightnings at the time of the rain. God causes the lightnings, these warnings, these threatenings of this great deluge. Even at that time, that's that period of time when understanding's coming down from God. The lightnings and the warnings we see, the flashings, we hear the sound of the thunder, the storm coming. He bringeth the wind out of his treasuries this time. See, that's what the wind is, kind of that which moves. We don't know where it's going, where it come from. It's just like time. It is time. See, God has time in his treasuries. This is part of what God is. See, God brings forth time and knowledge, understanding to destroy Babylon. 17. Every man is proved to be brutish for the knowledge. Every goldsmith is put to shame by the graven image, that his molten image is falsehood, and there's no breath in them. See, every man is proved to be brutish, to be like that. All are absent of knowledge. See, God is mighty, God is glorious, God is great, and has done a marvelous and great work to prove himself through time over and over. Every goldsmith is put to shame by the graven image. By these graven images they make, these goldsmiths, the gold belongs to God. The gold is a representation of the souls of men. And those things that belong to God is a representation of the law and the words of God, God's words. These are God's words. See, that they take and they pervert and they build an image and they make something that you can see. And these are the lies of men. That is, molten image is falsehood. They're lies. There's no breath in them. There's nothing they can do. It can't do no work. It does no work. And the lies of men are made known sooner or later as they gather the wealth and they get bigger and bigger, and their chief seat and their fat seat gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and all along suffering and degradation of society just continues. See, only you can make a difference. You have to turn. You have to hear. 18. They are vanity, a work of delusion. In the time of their visitation, they shall perish. See, that's all a waste of time. It's just a work of delusions, of this dreams men have to rule over. And the time, this period of their visitation, they're going to perish. All that's going to be done away with. And we're going to return to a pure understanding of God. And from the beginning, he gave us the law when he cut the bindings and he set us free. 19. The portion of Jacob is not like these, for he is the former of all things, and Israel is the tribe of his inheritance, and the Lord of hosts is his name. See, God is not like all these. God was not an image. They didn't see thee. He gave you the law for your own good, to bring you forth. See, to bring you forth slowly into understanding and knowledge where he could share with you. 20. You are my maw and my weapons for war, and and with you will I shatter the nations, and with you will I destroy the kingdoms. God says, you are my maul, my weapons of war, and with you I will shatter the nations. Shatter these nations, because why? He's going to exact a great judgment upon them. They are deceived and taken in it by the hand of the Almighty God. 21, and with you will I shatter the horse and the rider, and with you will I shatter the chariot and him that rides therein. And with you will I shatter that horse and that rider, the strengths, and them ones that climb up there and take that seat. And with you I will shatter the chariot and him that rideth therein. Their vehicles of war, where they stand and they hold the reins, thinking they can control the great strength that God has made, and the one who takes that stand. And with you will I shatter man and woman, and with you will I shatter the old man and the youth, and with you will I shatter the young man and the maid. The man and the woman, that which God divided in the beginning, teachings and understandings. Why? Because God is one understanding, there's one law for all. And with you will I shatter the man and the youth, the age, time, understanding poured out. No man, it doesn't matter how old you are, how young you are. There's understanding in the law. And with you will I shatter the young man and the maid, the one who is going to go into marriage and the one who's going to be taken into marriage. Have understanding, bring forth children, and teach them understanding. 23, and with you will I shatter the shepherd and his flock, and with you will I shatter the husbandman and his yoke of oxen, and with you will I shatter governors and deputies. And with you will I shatter the shepherd and his flock. This one who thinks he can just stand out there and let the flock just wander around and never watch over, never tend to, never teach them the law, give them understanding so that they can grow and multiply. With you will I shatter the husbandman and his yoke, these ones that are supposed to be tending to, these husbandmen, and the yoke of oxen, that which they use to plow, that which they use to pull and plow. These are people. And with you will I shatter governors and deputies, these governors, these rulers, their rulers, and the ones they appoint. 24, and I will render unto Babylon and to all the inhabitants of Chaldea all their evil that they have done in Zion, in your sight, saith the Lord. And I will render to Babylon to confusion, and the inhabitants of those ones that claim to be all the knowing ones, all the great understanding, they got all the understanding of God. All their evil that they have done in Zion. Zion's that parched place God set there for an example from the beginning. It's that holy city. It's that city of the Levite. In your sight. See what they've done to those that God gave you in the beginning to give you the law, to bring you understanding. But see, they were punished. Everybody's going to get punished. 25, behold, watch and see. I am against you, O destroying mountain, saith the Lord, which destroyeth all the earth. And I will stretch out my hand upon you, and roll you down from the rocks, and will make you a burnt mountain. You watch and see. A destroying mountain. Oh, destroying mountain. That destroying mountain, that mountain, that high place that they've made for themselves. That's the destroying mountain, saith the Lord, which destroys all the earth. Confusion of man. God says, I'm going to stretch out my hand upon you and roll you down from the rocks. Roll you up out of there. You're coming down. God's going to make you a burnt mountain, a burnt, parched place, see. That's what it's about. It's the judgment of God. This fire even being the law of God to come forth and just scorches and burns every law. 26, and they shall not take of you a stone for a corner, nor a stone for foundations, but you shall be desolate forever, saith the Lord. Desolate forever. They're not going to use one little rock for you. They ain't going to use it to make dust out for you, from you. You're going to be a laughing stock and a perpetual what? Confusion. God's going to make an end of confusion. 27. Set up a standard in the land. Blow the horn among the nations. Prepare the nations against her. Call together against her the kingdoms of Ararat and Mini and Ashkenaz. Appoint a marshal against her. Cause the horses to come up as the rough canker worm. Set up that standard. Lift it up. Lift it up. Make this your goal. Lift it up and blow the horn among the nations. Let everybody know God's coming to destroy confusion with the law. Call together against her the kingdoms of Ararat, Mini, and Ashkenaz. Ararat is that place where the curse has been reversed. That's where God's reversing it. God's switching it around, turning it around. See, because God can do this. He's turning the battle around. He's in the midst fighting, giving the commands. Mini is that place. It's been divided. God's done it. It's done been separated. It's done. Ashkenaz. And what has he done? He has broken the idol and the altar and scattered the ashes. He has broke the altar and scattered the ashes. Ashkenaz. Appoint a marshal against her. Set up somebody who knows and can take charge and cause the horses to come up as the rough canker worm. These great strength. Coming up once again is this roe cankerworm, that locust, that horde of roe locusts. Young locusts, they're everywhere. They're devouring. 28, prepare against her the nations, the kings of the Medes, the governors thereof, and all the deputies thereof, and all the land of his dominion. Prepare against her the nations. All these ones that are going to come against Babylon in the end. See, all these ones that are going to have understanding. The kings of the Medes, those ones that raise up out of the middle ground, raise up out of this confusion, raise up out of the in-between to separate all the deputies thereof and all the land of his dominion. All those places. Because, see, God's going to start again. Over and over, raising up. It's like a boiling. And the land quakes and is in pain. For the purposes of the Lord are performed against Babylon, to make the land of Babylon a desolation without inhabitant. For the land quakes and is in pain. The land does. All the earth. For the purposes of the Lord are performed. God's done it. God's caused his judgment to come to pass against Babylon. Against confusion, to make the land of confusion a desolation without inhabitant. He don't want nobody confused about it. He give you the law for your own good from the beginning. Observe. 30, the mighty men of Babylon have forborne to fight. They remain in their strongholds. Their might hath failed. They are become as women. Her dwelling places are set on fire, and her bars are broken. But these mighty men of confusion, they ain't staying to fight. See, they remain in their strongholds. They ain't coming out. Their might's failed. They're scared. And they become like a woman. There's no intent to a woman. This woman, it is the tenderness, the gentle side. They've gone to the gentle side. They're in fear. See, they're in fear. No intent against women. Her dwelling places are set on fire. See, her dwelling places are set on fire. This is where she dwelt. She was in there. This is the sad story. We call it the sob stories. What it represents, this tenderness they've been using. And her bars are broken. These were her prisoners were kept. 31. One post runneth to meet another, and one messenger to meet another, to tell the king of Babylon that his city is taken on every quarter. On every quarter. These portions of work God divided out from the beginning to be done against her. But one post runs to meet another. This ain't like a doorpost. This is like a watch post. One watchman over here and a messenger. One messenger to meet another. See, they're running to meet each other to tell. Why? Because the distance is great. The distance is great. They got to travel to tell everyone. From one post to another, confusion is falling. Confusion is coming down. See, that great city, 32, and the forts are seized, and the castles they have burned with fire, and the men of war are affrighted. Their fords are seized, these places where they cross over, and the castles, those prison houses, they're burned with fire, and the men of war are affrighted. All their great men, all their mighty men, they won't come out and fight. One mightier than they are here now. 33, for thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, the daughter of Babylon is like a threshing floor at the time when it is trodden. Yet a little while, and the time of harvest shall come for her. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, the daughter of Babylon is like a threshing floor at the time when it is trodden. It's being used. It's being used. And they're gathering the harvest into it, this great land of confusion. And at the time when it is trodden, see, at that time when it's ready, yet a little while, and the transgressors will reach their full, and the time of harvest shall come for her. See, because God is preparing within her a great harvest. Those ones who can hear, those ones who, when the sound of the word goes forth, even the law of God, and you understand and hear, you'll know and see these things. When you make yourself observant to the law, you will understand. 34, Nebuchadrezzar, the king of Babylon, has devoured me. He hath crushed me. He has set me down as an empty vessel. He hath swallowed me up like a dragon. He hath filled his maw with my delicacies. He hath washed me clean. Nebuchadrezzar, this prophet that protects the crown, he's the king of confusion. He's devoured me. He has crushed me. He has set me down as an empty vessel. He used me up, devouring me, taking me in, imputing all my understandings, taking all my things that belong to me. He has swallowed me up like a dragon, like a dragon. There's no dragon, but like this elongated thing, like a snake would swallow its prey whole. He hath filled his maw with my delicacies. His maw, this thing that he uses to mash, it's like a sledgehammer. And he's using it, slashing, mashing the nations, mashing them. And these delicacies, these are all the good little things. These are all the words of God. See, and he's using against the nations to crush them. 35, the violence done to me and to my flesh be upon Babylon, shall the inhabitants of Zion say. My blood be upon the inhabitants of Chaldea, shall Jerusalem say. Jerusalem, that place of peaceful teachings. My blood, my sins, be upon Chaldea. See, upon those that think they have all the great understandings. See, God turned it around, remember? He's turned it around. Now, he's going to place all the sins that Jerusalem had done and put it on Chaldea, see, making all those pay, those ones that took that position, those ones that were supposed to be all understanding, have all the knowledge that God was supposed to give, the law, never teaching it for the people's own good. The society and the earth as a whole might progress, but keeping all the wealth for yourself, that's who we're talking about there, those ones. See, all the sins now are on you. Why? The sins required at your hand. And the violence done to me by the flesh be upon Babylon. This violence done to me in the flesh, causing the flesh to sin, saying they have no understand. The law is the law of the flesh and not a law of understanding. That's what they did. Zion never said that. These inhabit Zion, these that know and keep the law because they have understanding. And they know if they don't bind it up, it can't be bound. 36, therefore thus saith the Lord, behold, I will plead your cause, and take vengeance for you. I will dry up her sea, and make her fountain dry. That's why God said, behold, watch and see, I will plead your cause. I will take vengeance for you. I'm going to go fight for you. You be observant to my understanding, and I'm going to go before you. I will dry up her sea. I will dry up all her peoples. Take them away. They'll turn and run and flee. And I will make her fountain to dry. That place where they drank. See, that's where they drank. God's going to dry it up. 37, and Babylon shall become heaps, a dwelling place for jackals, an astonishment and a hissing without inhabitant. Babylon, that great city of confusion. Where is it? It's everywhere. It's all over the world. The whole earth's taken in it. It's a dwelling place for jackals, those that howl, those that try to strike fear, saying they got all the understanding of God. We know better. God give it to everybody. It's equal. Pour it out now. It's an astonishment. Their astonishment and a hissing without inhabiting. There ain't nobody going to want to go there no more. Ain't nobody going to want to return to ignorance. 38, they shall roar together like lions. They shall growl as lions' whelps. Oh, they'll roar like young lions coming out to destroy. They'll growl as lions' whelps, like young lions practicing. 39, with their poison will I prepare their feast, and I will make them drunk, that they may be convulsed, and sleep a perpetual sleep, and not wake, saith the Lord. With their own poison, see, with confusion and with deception, God's done it. I will prepare their feast. I'll prepare their great meal, this great meal that they're going to have. And I will make them drunken. Boy, they will find it. They love the wine. They love to drink it so, and make themselves drunk, that they may be convulsed. They're going to pass out. They're going to come to their end. They're going to make a fool. They're going to get full of it and sleep a perpetual sleep. They're going to fall off into confusion. God's made them drunk. They're going to pass out over there and not wake, saith the Lord. See, that's what they're for. They're the drunken of the world, to make an example. 40, I will bring them down like lambs to the slaughter, like rams with he-goats. They're brought down. They think they've got a great victory. They get drunk, and boom, just like lambs to the slaughter, having no understanding, like rams with the he-goats. And these rams are with the sheep, and the he-goats, he's the male goat. Just like rams and he-goats. 41, how is Sheshach taken, and the praise of the whole earth seized? How is Babylon become an astonishment among the nations? How is Sheshach taken? Sheshach's that one of fine linen. Remember Sheshach, the one of fine linen? And the praise of the whole earth seized. How has it done? How has Babylon become an astonishment among the nations? God did it. God did it. That's how it happened. God set it up, then God made it come to pass. 42, the sea is come upon Babylon. She is covered with the multitude of the waves thereof. All the nations, all the peoples have come upon Babylon. She is covered with the multitude of the waves. These thrashings, because God's making the sea to roar. God's making the sea to roar against confusion. And all the people are coming against it. 43, her cities are become a desolation, a dry land and a desert, a land wherein no man dwelleth, neither doth any son of man pass thereby. Nobody's going to come to confusion no more. God's pouring out understanding. God wants to reason with mankind, come to an understanding. Even from the beginning, that great covenant he made in the beginning, God going to bring it back. God always making a new beginning, constantly making a new beginning. 44, and I will punish Baal in Babylon, and I will bring forth out of his mouth that which he hath swallowed up, and the nations shall not flow any more unto him. Yes, the wall of Babylon shall fall. He's going to punish Baal in Babylon. Baal is your Lord image. That's that Lord image they set in Babylon, in confusion. He's going to bring forth out of his mouth that which he has swallowed. All those things that he's swallowed up, all the nations, all the peoples thereof, God's going to bring it back out. See, because like a snake who swallowed his prey whole, God's going to rescue. God has the ability to do this, see. And the nations shall not flow unto him anymore. See, God's going to punish Babylon. God's going to confusion Babylon like an entity, like a person, or using a person even like confusion. God's going to take away the power. Even though he used him as a servant, yes, the wall of Babylon shall fall, and this great wall, that which they're protecting their city with, is going to fall. God takes it away, see. God knocks a hole in it. 45. My people, go you out of the midst of her, and save yourselves every man from the fierce anger of the Lord. My people, those that can hear, those that understand what's being said, those that know the law, those that want to hear the law, those that want to incline their ear, want to listen to God. Get out of there. Save yourselves, every man, because God is angry. 46. And let not your heart faint, neither fear you for the rumor that shall be heard in the land. For a rumor shall come 1 year, and after that another year a rumor, and violence in the land, ruler against ruler. Don't be scared. Don't be faint of heart. Don't worry. Don't fear. God's been saying this for time after time. Have no fear. Trust in me, saith the Lord. For a rumor that shall be heard in the land. A rumor does come. A rumor shall come 1 year. 1 year, the beginning of that greater understanding. That is going to be in the rumor of it. The greater understanding is going to be the rumor. And after another year, after a great understanding, another year, another period, a rumor. See, that rumor is the great understanding. A violence in the land. Ruler against ruler. Because there is going to be a great fight. Well, this one raising up in the battle to bring himself a battle against all confusion, so that knowledge and understanding and wisdom can be poured out on the earth. The law, it is your knowledge, it is your wisdom, it is your understanding from the beginning, God said. 47, therefore behold, the days come that I will do judgment upon the graven images of Babylon, and upon her whole land shall be ashamed, and all her slain shall fall in the midst of her. That's why you watch and see. The understanding comes. Those little understandings come, and that period of little understanding, see, that year that I will do judgment upon the graven images of Babylon. These works of the hands of men, these things they whittle out with their mouths of confusion. Her whole land shall be ashamed, all of it, and all her slain shall fall in the midst of her. All these ones that want to stay and fight for confusion, all the ones that God has prepared for the battle to be slain. 48. The heaven and the earth, and all that is therein, shall sing for joy over Babylon. For the spoilers shall come unto her from the north, saith the Lord. Every heaven and earth, all that is therein shall sing for joy over Babylon. Because why? Confusion has fallen. There are going to be peace in the earth. There's going to be a day of rest. Spoilers come to her from the north, out of the judgments of God. 49. As Babylon has caused the slain Israel to fall, so at Babylon shall fall the slain of all the land. As this confusion has caused all the Israel, those that are going to be ruled by God, those that can hear God, those that understand God, to fall. Those that think they found God, but we're going to find, see, Babylon, this confusion has deceived them. 50, you that have escaped the sword, go you, stand not still. Remember the Lord from afar, and let Jerusalem come to your mind. You that have escaped the sword, that judgment of God, you that understand these things can hear, go, don't stand still. Remember God from afar. Let Jerusalem come to your mind, that place of peaceful teachings. 51. We are ashamed because we have heard reproach. Confusion has covered our faces, for strangers are come into the sanctuaries of the Lord's house. No, we are ashamed because we have heard reproach. Yes, We understand those things. Confusion has covered our faces. God done this. For strangers are coming to the sanctuaries of the Lord's house. Because you have sinned. Because you turned from the law of God. You turned. Therefore God brought judgment against you. But we'll see. God's going to destroy Babylon. He was using it for this purpose. 52. That's why, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that I will do judgment upon her graven images, and through all her land the wounded shall groan. That's why, see, you watch and see. These little understandings are coming, saith the Lord. I'm going to do judgment upon her graven images, these things that men have made. These are the works of the hands of men. If you can see it, some man made it. It's just that simple. God works from within. God doesn't need images. God doesn't need this. He's got the law. See, that's all he had to give you. 5 we do, they do not. 5 we don't do, they do. See, that's how God's done judgment. God's done it. Though Babylon should mount up to heaven, and though she should fortify the height of her strength, yet from me shall spoilers come unto her, saith the Lord. And though confusion should mount up to heaven, though it should get as high as it can get, remember the Tower of Babel? And though she should fortify the height of her strength, so even though she should make it strong and widen out the foundation and make it high, yet from me shall spoilers come unto her, saith the Lord. It doesn't matter how high they get. Higher they get, the further they fall. 54, hark! A cry from Babylon and great destruction from the land of Chaldeans. Listen, there's a cry from Babylon, that confusion. There's great destruction coming upon those that think they control knowledge. 55, for the Lord spoils Babylon, and destroyeth out of her the great voice. And the waves roar like many waters, the noise of their voices uttered. And this roar of many waters, God makes the seas to roar. This is like the seas, all the multitude and the peoples of confusion. God is destroying it with and her great voice, that feminine voice she's been using that we've been told of that's come. See, that's what God made an example of. For the spoiler, 56, is come upon her, even upon Babylon, and her mighty men are taken. Their bows are shattered, for the Lord is a God of recompenses. He will surely requite. The spoiler has come upon her. The one who's going to destroy Babylon, this confusion of men. And her mighty men, all those that want to stand up there with their bows, God's going to shatter them, your strengths. These are how you fight and bend back to bow, like a sissy. For the Lord is a God of recompenses. He's a God of reward. Yeah, he's a God of reward, and he's going to give you just what you deserve. 57, and I will make drunk her princes and her wise men, her governors and her deputies and her mighty men, and they shall sleep a perpetual sleep, and not wake, saith the King, whose name is the Lord of hosts. They're going to sleep forever. See, the one who can live forever can die forever. See, they're going to go sleep forever in their ignorance. God's made them drunk, their princes, these sons of their mighty ones, and their wise men, these that have all the knowledge and understanding, their governors, their rulers, and their deputies, all these ones they've got and they appoint. Her mighty men, these ones that think they got it all. They shall sleep a perpetual sleep. God's done it to you. You need to wake up. They ain't going to wake up, though, saith the King, whose name is the Lord of hosts. God's done it. 58, thus saith the Lord of hosts, the broad walls of Babylon shall be utterly overthrown, and her high gates shall be burned with fire, and the people shall labor for vanity, and the nations for the fire, and they shall be weary. God's going to overthrow it, though. These broad walls, why are the walls so broad? Because they're just heaps and piles of all the understandings and knowledges men can gather and throw in a heap to surround you and gather you into these land of enclosures. God's going to throw it down again, though. Her high gates, those gates of entry there that they think they've got set so high that no one can come in lest they by them. They shall be burned with fire by the law of God, burned away. The people shall labor for nothing, vanity, nothing. You're working for nothing, the gain of men, and the nations for the fire. See, that's what's going on. They're working, all the nations, to build this fire, get this fire going. They're getting tired, though. Why, it's making a big light, great big light, and it's lighting the earth. 59, the word which Jeremiah the prophet commanded Seraiah, the son of Neriah, the son of Maaseiah, when he went with Zedekiah, the king of Judah, to Babylon in the 4th year of his reign. Now Seraiah was the quartermaster. All right, we got finished with that part. Now this verse 59, we're going to change subjects. And this is the word that come to one whom God appointed. He's the one speaking, and that which he commanded Seraiah. Seraiah is this one who contends with my God. He's the one who, in the end, God's going to have battle over and win. He's the son of Neriah. We remember Neriah. Neriah is the little glistening light of my God. And he come from Maaseiah, and that was the refuge of my God. See, he come up out of there, out of the refuge, out of the law. And he went with Zedekiah. Zedekiah is this justice of God, the judgment of God. He was the king of Judah. Into Babylon. We remember when they carried Zedekiah off to Babylon, off to confusion, in the 4th year of his reign. And in the 4th year of his reign, that's the work. God divided out. Now for that greater understanding of Zedekiah's reign. Now Seraiah was the quartermaster, and that means he was the quartermaster. He was a master over a portion of the work of God, 60. And Jeremiah wrote in one book all the evil that should come upon Babylon, even all the words that are written concerning Babylon. And Jeremiah wrote in a book, in one book. Now, that book would be the beginning. That is where the words to stay are written. All the evil that should come upon Babylon, even all those words that we've read in the book, even all the words that were written concerning confusion. 61, and Jeremiah said to Seraiah, when you come to Babylon, then see that you read all these words. And Jeremiah, the one whom God appointed, said to Seraiah, this one who had contended with God, when you come to Babylon, when you come to confusion, then see that you read all these words. And we'll find Seraiah did. 62, and say, O Lord, you have spoken concerning this place, to cut it off, that none shall dwell therein, neither man nor beast, but it shall be desolate forever. And these were the words he would speak, that God has swore that he is going to cut off Babylon, cut it off, confusion, and destroy it, and neither man nor beast shall dwell therein, and man, beast, that which is to be devoured, and that which devours. It's going to be desolate. Those places where men gather to teach their ignorance. 63, and it shall be, when you have made an end of reading this book, that you shall bind a stone to it, and cast it into the midst of the Euphrates. And as they went to Babylon, they would cross the river Euphrates. River Euphrates are those waters that flow down and create fruitfulness. They create that fruitfulness. God told Seraiah, he says, now, when you get there, and you've made an end of reading this book, and everybody's heard it, you shall bind a stone to it, and a stone is going to give it the weight, and cast it into that river of fruitfulness, these waters that come down and that are given that fruitfulness, and we're going to find out what's going to happen. See, the words are going to sink. The same thing that happened in Gomorrah. that place that he submerged. He caused the words to sink into it. 64, and you shall say, thus shall Babylon sink, and shall not rise again, because of the evil that I bring upon her, and they shall be weary. Thus far are the words of Jeremiah, and this would be the end of the words of Jeremiah concerning Babylon, concerning that place of confusion. God's going to sink you like a rock with the law wrapped around it to the bottom of your river of fruitfulness because of the evil. This is because of the evil that God will bring upon her. See, God's going to do it. God's going to destroy the ignorance of man. God's going to bring understanding to the world again through the law, through your observance to it. So turn and return. Let's move to chapter 52.